This is my pink tree adorned with pink ornaments of all different kinds. Most of these ornaments were acquired through thrifting and just collected over the years. That one was acquired when I was in Arizona to visit my best friend, the finial. I make wreaths out of vintage antique balls, and this is one of mine, and it is located here beside my pink tree. I've had this wreath since the early 2000s, and I recently updated it with pink and silver poinsettias with the silver bells. When my daughter was young, she absolutely loved nutcrackers, and it became an obsession that I started buying different kinds of nutcrackers, and other people started getting them for me as well. This is our front entry from our front door. Again, a lot of this was acquired over many years and at thrift stores, and the little ones love to press that button every year. This is my silver tree. I got it in the early 2000s, and it is adorned with red, white, candy cane style ornaments. Thrifting at its finest. Along with some of these were my aunt and uncles who passed away, so I added them in. I acquired this ceramic tree and off of Facebook Marketplace, and some of my ceramic pieces that's sitting there I got at a yard sale. And we acquired this train to go in our village off Amazon, and the link is in my bio if you're interested. It blows little smoke out of the stack and makes the noise. It even goes in reverse. And all of these houses have been gathered over the years, and it takes about 6 hours for my daughter to put it together. So she actually helps me with the village. And you can see that over here is another one of my ball wreaths that I make. And here are some of my ornaments figurines along with the nativity. Here are my trees numbered 3, 4, 5, and 6. And they are actually, 3 of them, these 3, actually have wooden vintage ornaments on that I've collected over the years. And some of them were my mom's, who is no longer with us. So one of the many reasons probably why I decorate so much at Christmas, it kind of just fills that void of my parents not being with us anymore. And then I acquired this cute little tree skirt. I got that at a yard sale. And then a lot of these gingerbread ornaments that you see on this tree, I actually handmade with my kids when they were little in the early 2000s. And my mom actually had to come save me because I was not doing a good job at it. And so even though they're getting old and they're a little frail, they definitely remind me of my mom. And that's my gingerbread tree. Here is a closer look at the vintage wood ornament trees that I have that was sitting here. And I recently started loving little gnomes. So I do have a couple of gnomes. And then this is our old vintage record player. And it just has some of the pieces that I've collected. One of my daycare families made this wreath for me, and I am very huge into little puppy dogs, and if they're Christmas, that is an added bonus. Some Homeco elves, along with some plates, and then here's another angle of the village and our front door. And here is another angle from our front door. It's just a bathroom, but yes, it's decorated. Some of the vintage and antique pieces that I've acquired from family, friends, and thrifting. This is in our kitchen. My best friend actually made this ball tree that you see here, and I made that little tin scene. And this is a lot of Santa glasses, or Santa mugs I should say, that I have collected over the years. I'm a huge fan of kissing Mr. and Mrs. Claus. And this is our sunroom. I call this the blue tree. And the candy canes that you see on it actually aren't normally on this tree until after Christmas Eve, because Santa brings candy canes on Christmas Eve. And so I actually did this in honor of my mom. She loved Blue Christmas and she loved snowmen, especially the snow buddies. So that's what this tree is in honor of. And then you will see that my table is also completely decorated and ready for Christmas, along with our sunroom windowsills with all of the snowmen. And this room just reminds me of my mom and her house at Christmas time with her snow buddies and her snowmen and her Blue Christmas. This is the back side of our little shelf bar in our kitchen. I collect a lot of the little jars. You can put candy in for guests. And I did make this little girl just recently, actually. And this ceramic tree was my mother-in-law's. And yes, I made that ball tree. And I'll show you the front sides of these here in a second. But this was my grandmother's. My aunt just recently let me have my grandma Clark's ceramic tree. And this is my little coffee, tea, and hot cocoa setup. Here's the other side of our sink bar. My mother-in-law's ceramic tree. The front side of my ball tree. And then I made this little girl this year out of milk glass and vintage items, and my grandmother's tree. This actually lights up. I forgot to turn them on. But these I actually acquired, these M&M lights. We hang them here every year. And I bought them when I was 16. So that would have been in the mid to late 90s, prior to 96. So there's my sunroom and then my kitchen. And this right here is my absolute, probably favorite tree. She holds tons of vintage antique Christmas ornaments. Anywhere from Shiny Bright to Roush, German, Poland, flocked, you name it. I have purchased it over many years prior to the vintage craze that we are in now with Christmas. So thankfully, most of these were acquired for very little many years ago at yard sales and thrift stores. Some of them from my mom. not many, but some. And that painting back there, I also got at a antique market, and it's one of my favorite pieces. I probably only paid like, I think like $30 for. It's a mirror, it's a vintage mirror, and they painted a scene on it. So, and of course here you can see my Santa and my dogs, Mrs. Claus, our hand painted ceramic. But yeah, this is my absolute favorite tree. And she is a full day project for her to be done and completed. And it makes me really sad when I have to take her down because she is gorgeous. And then over here, you can see I have some more vintage ceramic trees. And this one in particular was Troy's grandmother's, which is my husband's grandmother's. So that's how we got that one. And then my best friend purchased that one for me at a yard sale. So this is some more vintage ceramic trees that I got. Then from there, you enter our living room, and you can see I have another ball tree up here. Not tree, I'm sorry, a ball wreath. And then I have a ball tree up there that I made. And then my best friend made this ball frame with my parents' picture in because they're no longer with us. And so this is in memory of my parents. This is our family living room tree. I call it our memory tree because it has our memories on it. My kids' artwork from when they were in school, and some of their baby pictures, and some of their favorite ornaments, and things that we've received from family and friends, some of my grandparents' ornaments, and my mom's, as well as mine from when I was in school. That's mine. And my nephew and nieces have also put things on this one. And my best friend, both of them have given me things, and some of these are also from our vacations over the years. So this is our living room family memory tree. And that was number 9. So here is number 10 and 11 tree. These two trees are filled with what are called yarn canvas ornaments. My grandmother made them, and so I started collecting these as well to go with the ones I already had that she had made us, or not made us, but that she had made and that we have for on our trees. These are some of the Lenox ornaments that my mother-in-law started buying for me. Every year she bought me one. And again, I started buying my own Lenox when I see it out in the wild. And then here's the other tree that has the yarn canvas ornaments on. And I'm sure you've seen a couple of these QVC snow globe things in some of my videos so far. And then over here we have pencil Santas and all kinds of other Santas and what I call critter sitters, which came from my mom. Back in the 90s, there was a brand called Critter Sitters, and we started calling everything Critter Sitter instead of a knick-knack or shelf sitter. We call them Critter Sitters in my house. Some little music boxes, more yarn canvas, and then I think we're at number 12 and 13. I have 13 trees in my house, so I might have miscounted at some point, but we are now at number 12 and 13. And these are adorned with vintage hand-painted ceramic ornaments. And again, some of these was from my years of growing up, like this one right here was from my mom's house. So, and that one, little angel, she was from, that used to hang on our tree when I was growing up. And same thing with that little mouse right there on the package. So, and then me and my best friend both have started picking these up in thrift stores. And so yeah, this is a tour of our winter wonderland at Christmas time. I probably should have done this when I first got it up and ready, but we've been hosting over the past 2 weeks, family and friends, so I'm just now getting around to doing a video for TikTok. And hopefully you guys enjoy seeing all of the vintage Christmas treasures that I have gathered over the years. One last thing I was just noticing, this bell hung in my mom's home. It's a mistletoe bell. It hung in my mom's home ever since I can remember, probably since I was a teen, like probably actually in elementary school. So yeah, that's probably from the 80s. But anyway, or so, yeah, probably like 80s. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the tour. Kind of short and quick. If you'd like to see better pictures of anything, let me know. Hope you have a great day.